Hi everyone, I am Ellen from Four Paws Dog Training and Agility Club, and this is Buttons. And this morning I'm going to do a little video on loose lead walking. This is for anyone that wants to train the dogs to walk nicely on the lead, but predominantly for my classes that unfortunately we had to finish 2 weeks early because of the coronavirus outbreak. And one of the classes that you didn't get to do was loose lead walking. So that's what I'm going to do this morning. Annoyingly, it's a really windy day. So I've come out into my back garden, but I'm going to have to keep coming closer to the screen so that you can hear me, and then I'll go back and show you what I'm doing with Buttons. So Buttons is just having a little dig. There we go. Buttons has woken up very, very energetic this morning, so I have no idea how this is going to go. Hopefully it should be good fun, but we'll see. So I've got her harness and lead on already. She did well. She came over and sat for me to put her harness and lead on, so she did good. But she's had a charge around the garden. As you can see, I've got some bits and pieces out. I picked up some of my puppy agility stuff just before we had to stop work so that she could be entertained while we're back home. Hey, Mrs. Digger. So I'm going to, later in the other videos, I'll try and use some of this stuff and we'll do a little bit of agility and a little bit of tricks and stuff. But today we'll just do loose lead walking. So I've got with me, attached to me here, I've got my treat pouch and I've got my clicker here, and then she's on her harness and lead over here. And I'm going to warm her up with a little bit of eye contact just to get her focus. If I try going straight into loose lead training, she's just going to want to charge around and play. So we're just going to do some sits or some downs with a bit of eye contact just to warm her up. And then I will come back to the camera and explain the first stage of the loose lead walking to you. So please bear with me. This is not an ideal situation, but we'll do the best we can. Right. So I'm going to do a little bit of eye contact to start with. Right. Look at you digging a hole. What's this? Right, what's this? Ready? Sit. Good girl. Buttons. Buttons. Is that a tree one? Buttons. Good girl. Buddy, what's this? What's this? Sit. Look. Buttons. You really like that hole. We're not having that hole. Sit. Buttons. Oh, this is going as well as expected. Look, good girl. Well done. Buttons. Look, good girl. Buttons. Oh, what's this? What's this? Look. Good girl. Oh dear, Buttons. Come on. Buttons. What's this? Good girl. Buttons. What's this? Look. Good girl. Oh, yummy. What's this? What's this? Look. Good girl. Well done. Okay. So as you can see, Buttons is really not feeling training this morning, but we'll see what we can do. She's woken up extremely lively, and it's worth mentioning Buttons is only about 4.5 months old, so she is still a very young pup. Sorry, it's so windy, my eyes watering now. She is still a very young puppy, so her attention span is not great. So we will see how far we get with this. So okay, we've done a little bit of eye contact just to get her hopefully concentrating a little bit. The next stage we're going to do is we're going to be walking backwards with her coming towards us. Now I do my lead work in 3 steps. So we'll go with step 1 first of all, which is her walking towards me with me walking backwards. Now the reason we're doing walking backwards is hopefully it will keep her attention on me rather than everything else. And if she is walking towards me with her attention on me, hopefully that will mean that she's got a nice loose lead, and then I can be rewarding her more frequently. So that's the idea behind that one. At this stage, it doesn't matter what direction you're walking in, as long as the dog's got a loose lead, then we're happy. So that is what we're going to try now. If she can stop digging this hole. Come on, monkey. Now, I don't think you can see me. Okay, let's. Come on, you. Dig in that hole. Right, Buttons. She walks with me. Good. You're not going to that hole. So we're clicking as she's walking towards me, but her head is up. That's good. Buddy. Good girl. That's better. That's better. Ah. That's it. Good girl. That's better. Oh, good girl. Well done. Anytime she looks up and looks at me, she's going to get a reward. Good girl. Good girl. Well done. Good girl. That's better. That's better. You're warming up now. Come on. You're not having that hole. Good girl. Well done. Okay, for the sake of not going over it too much, we'll leave that there. So that's stage 1, is just walking back with the dog coming towards us, and then us rewarding when they've got their head up. So a lot of dogs like to walk around with their noses on the floor. So we want to try and get her to realise that when we're walking nicely, it's with her head up. So that's what she's getting the click and treat for. Come here, you. You've got a lovely hole you've dug there. So we would continue doing that for probably about a week, maybe doing that a couple of times a day for a few minutes a day. Until she's really got the grasp of that before we move on to the next stage. However, for the sake of the video, we are going to do the next stage now, and that is going to be to do sidestepping. So it's a bit of an interim stage where I'm going to be walking sideways and she is going to be walking in the same direction that I'm traveling, but she's going to be walking forwards. And again, if she's walking nicely in front of me, because I'm side onto her, and she's got a loose lead and her head is up, then she will get a click and a treat. Now, you'll have to bear with us today because anything can happen with this. She is really not in the mood for working today. She did a lot of training yesterday, and I think she just wants to go berserk this morning. So we'll just have to see what happens. Right. Oh, and one thing to note, when I say reward your dog, that is, you can use obviously food, or you can be using verbal, so tell them what good dogs they are. You can be using touch, give them a very gentle little cuddle, eye contact, So there's loads of different ways that you can be rewarding your dog. You can obviously use toys as well, but I probably wouldn't use that for lead work because we want to keep them as calm as possible. So, right, we will try and do stage 2 if she will concentrate for more than 5 seconds. Right, Mrs. Where are you? Can you see? There we go. Right, Mrs. Over here. Good girl. So pull those out. Here we are. There we go. Ready? Oh, good girl. This is better. Have you woken up? Come on. Not having that home. Good girl. Good girl. This way. This way. Good girl. Good girl. This is better. Well done. Ooh. Ready? Good girl. Well done. This way. Good girl. Clever girl. Is here. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. So try and time your clicking with when their heads come up and they're walking on a loose lead. Good girl. If, for the sake of if she did pull, let's say she went in front of me now, I'm going to go back into backwards for a few steps. And if that's going well, then I will continue with sideways. Good girl. Good girl. Well done. Well done. Okay. I really hope you can see that because it's so sunny I can't see what on earth is going on my computer. So yes, okay, so we've done sideways and she did actually really well. She started to concentrate now. So that's a relief. Come and say hi, Buttons. Come and say hi. There we go. So the final stage is going to be walking forward. But again, you want to be doing every stage in sort of every week or so, so that they're learning properly rather than sort of just rushing through it. So the final stage is going to be walking forward, so the same direction as each other. If she starts pulling me, my default move is going to be to go backwards again. So if she pulls, I'm going to go backwards. That's telling her that as soon as she feels any tension on her harness or on her collar, she comes back towards me. So that's the idea of walking backwards to correct her if she does pull. We're not doing any shouting, telling her no's, any form of nasty reprimands. We're literally just walking backwards to bring her back towards us if she starts pulling on the lead. But please make sure you are always rewarding your dog when they are walking correctly at your side or at least slightly ahead, but with a nice loose lead. So I think we focus a lot on telling the dogs off and correcting them all the time, and actually they're not learning if we're not rewarding them properly. So we are going to do the final stage to show you, and we'll see how she goes. And also remembering she's in her garden, which isn't really the area that I do a lot of training. I normally take her out and do training outside or in the house. So she's very excited to be outside this morning, and it's windy, which has got her excited too. All right, go then, little miss. So we'll start with our sideways just to get her back in the game. Ready? Oh, we're very sniffy. That's better. Come on then. She's just seen a fly. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. Come on. Oh, good girlie. Good girlie. Did you drop that one? Good girl. We'll just do some backwards just to get her back with me. There we go. Good girl. Oh, good girl. Good girl. And last one. You're desperate to go in that tunnel, aren't you? Good girl. Oh. Yes, one back. Good girl. Good girl. So you may have seen just once she got a bit overexcited and just jumped up at me. She didn't do it again, so I didn't need to worry too much about that. If your dog is constantly jumping up at you when you are rewarding them or when you're walking along, just throw the treats on the floor instead of feeding from your hand. That'll direct their energy down rather than towards you. So that should stop any unwanted jumping up and nipping when you're training. So we will leave it there because Buttons, I think, just wants to go and have a nice run around and a play. I hope you've learned a little bit from this video. It's been nice and short and sweet, but it's given you 3 stages of your lead work. Practice that every single day for, if you can, a couple of times a day for a few minutes a day in your back garden, or obviously when we're allowed to do our little bits of exercise each day at the moment. Hopefully, within a couple of weeks, you'll probably have a dog that's walking beautifully on the lead. That's the idea of it. Don't do too much because your dog will just have enough and then it'll all go to pot. So just little bits as and when you can. And yeah, keep safe, keep well. My next video, I think I'll probably do some recall training again for my classes that missed out on the last sessions. We'll do some recall and we'll probably do the door training that we didn't do as well. And then I think we'll go and do some agility and some tricks after that. And then hopefully that's everyone catered for. Thank you very much for watching. And oh my goodness me, the wind. Please do share this around so that other people can learn and do some training with their lovely doggies. Okay, thanks everyone. I've been Ellen Davis from 4 Paws Dog Training and Agility in Surrey and Hampshire. I am an IMDT qualified dog trainer. Thank you. Bye.